Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily Business Tech Boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and break them down into bite-sized tips you can use right away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 467. And forgive me if I'm a bit snuffly today. It's got a bit cooler and it always affects me a little. Anyway, 467. I am going to continue with Gravity Forms. I'm going to talk about how you can organize your forms for better user experience. And what I want to talk about is when you've got really long forms and you just don't want people scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and maybe you want them to be able to save their response so that they can come back to it at a later date or at a later time. We're going to talk about those two things, about how to organize your user experience so that we minimize the scrolling, and how you can help them save their responses until a later date, or so that they can fill the form in over time. So let's get on with that one and see how we go. So this is our demo site. If I come down to Gravity Forms, the Forms menu and Forms, if you are just tuning in, a couple of podcasts ago, I actually showed you how to install and configure Gravity Forms, and then I showed you how to create a basic form. And we've been building on that form over the last few episodes. So today we're going to look at the contact form. And it should be familiar if you have been following along. The contact form, it's not a simple form anymore. We've got about you, your name, email address, phone number, contact preferences, what are you interested in, and this is a drop-down menu. So if I come in and have a look at the choices, training, sitting, drop-in care. So this is just something we've been building up over time. It's nothing specific. It's just a good way of showing you how to use the form. Then you'll see we've got this in sections. So we've got about you is a section. I click on the section, it'll tell you it is a section. If I come down to about your dog, it's a section. We've got more drop downs. We've got more information. Training preferences is a section. So if I just go and have a look at this form before we do anything else and just do the preview, again, remember that when you do a preview, you aren't necessarily going to see this how it looks on your site. You are just going to see it how it looks as a stock standard Gravity form. So you'll see we've got the About You section, and then we've got a nice heading. We've got About Your Dog, and then we've got training preferences. This isn't too long, but it can get too long, particularly if you're trying to get information for onboarding or you're trying to do a bit of a quiz for someone. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to make each of these sections so that you need to click next page to get them. It's part of, let me just come back here. It is part of, what is your user experience? And I guess I'll cover this towards the end of the video as well. But the trick is to not have so little on a page that it just feels like they're endlessly clicking next page, next page, next page, and not to have so much on the page that they're just continually scrolling to get to the information. So how do we do pages? Well, we've got these as sections, and I think what we'll do is we'll convert these sections into pages. And what I'm going to do that is we are going to go back to the Add Fields tab here. And if we come down, it's under the standard fields. You'll see you've got page here. I'm going to drop a page marker above. No, I'm not going to do that. This is going to be page 1. About you is going to be page 1. About your dog is going to be page 2. So I'm going to take the page marker that we've got over here in the right-hand column. I'm going to drag it and while holding down my left mouse button, and I'm going to drop it above the About Your Dog. And you'll see we've got a page break in here now. And then if I scroll down again to training preferences and we drag our page break across, it's in there. Now, a couple of things that we can do with a page break. We're going to click on the first one here. It allows a multi-page form. We've got the next button is a default text, or you can use an image. Honestly, because of screen readers, I'd recommend you leave it as a text button and use your style sheets to style it. Your previous button can be, so this is the next button, your previous button can be a text or an image. Again, I would highly recommend that you use text and use your style sheets to make it look good. We do have conditional logic for the page. So when will this page appear? So for example, if I enable conditional logic for this page, for page 2, we're only going to show this page if interested in is not empty. As training, or I'm going to say any in this case, and add a new field. Interested in is dog sitting, or interested in is drop-in care. So we're only going to want to show this page, and the reason I'm doing this is I only want to show this page when they have selected something, because it's no use us getting the information about their dog if it's just a general contact form, or if it's just a general question. So we're going to say, click save there. What else have we got? The next button, conditional logic. So you can actually have a next button and only display the next button if a particular field on that page is actually shown. I will come back to that in a minute as a demonstration. On page break, on page 3, what we're going to do, actually, I'm going to change my mind and we're going to drop another page in here. So the message is going to be on page 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, on page 4. So for page 3, what we're going to do again is we're going to come down to page conditional logic. And we're just going to copy what we did before. We're going to say any, and if interested in is training, if interested in is dog sitting, if interested in is drop-in care. Okay, so now just close that down. Now we're going to have page 1. That's going to give us information about yourself. Page 2, if you have selected interested in and you've selected one of the 3 options that are in interested in, you're going to see the about your dog and the training preferences page. Otherwise, we're just going to go straight through to the message page. So I'm going to save the form and just show you how that looks, because the visuals on it make so much more sense than me sitting here rabbiting on about it. So let me click on preview. Now you'll see, rather than being able to scroll down, on the first page here, I just have your name, your email address, your phone, what are you interested in? There's a problem already. So to make this form work the way we want it to, I'm going to come back into interested in. I'm going to edit the choices, and we're going to add a new line item. It's just going to be blank. We're just going to leave it as blank. And here's why. Now we're going to do the preview on it. Excellent. That's what I wanted to see. So your name, email address, phone, what are you interested in? Now, if I leave interested in as blank here and click next, oh, it's asking me. So because I click next, I haven't put anything in. It's prompting me to enter the required field. So you can't go to the next page until you have entered the required fields, and you'll see that under the standard formatting, it formats everything red to say this is what you haven't filled in. Now if I click next, it takes me straight to the contact form, and if I click previous, it takes me back to page 1. See, it says step 1 of 2, so it knows that there's only 2 pages at the moment. But if I now choose training, you'll see it says step 1 of 4. It actually changes the step counter as well. And if I click next, it takes me to about my dog. None of this is actually required. It asks me my training purposes, and then I get to the contact form. All right, so that's how you do multi-pages, and I hope you get the feel just from this demonstration about how nicer it is, how better it feels to have the pages, to have a long form broken up into pages. I'm going to come back to that thought in just a moment. There was something else I wanted to go through. Oh yeah, let's look at the next button option. So if we click on page break and we come down to next button conditional logic, we're going to enable conditional logic, and we're going to say enable the next button if first name is not, and leave that blank. So if the first name is not blank, then we're going to get the next button. So we're going to click save, and what we're going to do is just remove some of the, oh, that should work actually. Just click save. That should work. Refresh our preview. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just reset our preview. There we go. Okay, so you'll see now there is no next button showing. Now that I've done this, there is no next button. But if I put in an entry in the first name, the next button comes up. So the first name isn't necessarily the best example to give you for the next button logic, but it gives you an idea of what you can be doing. So you could have a drop down, you could have a field that you need them to put something into before they move forward. It could even be that they need to accept terms and conditions before starting forward. So just to quickly recap what we've done in this video today, or in this tutorial today, we've added paging to our form. I've still got it broken up in sections, but in order to organize the content better, I've gone to the Add Fields menu under Standard Fields, and I've dropped a page break in where I want a next button to appear so that we move people through to the next page. Okay, I'm not gonna go any longer on that one. I want you guys to go off and play with that functionality. If you have gravity forms and you think that looks like a great idea and a great way of organizing your forms, go and play with it. Go and test it. Go and test the conditional logic about when you might display a page and when you might not display a page. It's a really good way of using one form in multiple situations, rather than having 3 or 4 different forms that you say, oh, well, if you're here, go here, and if you're here, go to this page, and if you're here, go to this page. You can have the one form and just use your fields to decide what content you collect from someone or you ask them to provide you without, and then moving forward. Sorry, that was an original thought. So I really wanted to just also come back to the user experience on it. The reason you would use paging is A, it looks damn good. When you get it right, it looks really good. But B, it's about the user experience. It's about not overwhelming the user with so many questions all at once, or the fact that they have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to be able to fill in the form. It's about being able to display groups of questions, of information together, so that you can collect that information and have them focused on that information at that point in time. And it's just really about that user experience, making sure that your users aren't overwhelmed, but making sure that they've got enough there to keep them engaged without boring them by having to click the next button. I hope that was helpful. In tomorrow's video, I'm actually going to go through how we can allow them to save their content while they're going through a process, and maybe come back to it later, particularly if you're collecting a lot of information in your form. But today I just really wanted to go about how you can further, because we used sections before, but how you can further organize your information and your form to improve your user experience. I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, if you've got anything at all, please leave comments. Anything at all related to the video, that would be great. Leave comments wherever you are watching or listening to this video. You are most welcome and invited to come and join me on my locals community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. That is where business owners can get together and talk about their tech issues, the things they're finding, ask about, I've got this thing, what What would you recommend? How could we do this? Hey, I've done this thing. It looks really good. Do people want to weigh in on it? Or just thought I'd share this information with you. That's the idea of this community. It's for business owners to address their technical prowess or questions, whichever way you want to go. If this video was useful to you and you got anything out of it, please give it a like. I really would appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And I will see you guys all tomorrow, and we'll be doing more Gravity Forms. Oh, I need to actually mention just before I sign off, there is a link to Gravity Forms in the notes for this video today. It is my affiliate link. I will make a small amount of money out of the referrals if you make a purchase from that link. And if you do, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.